Imagine your favorite foods. Imagine eating them right now and being content for the rest of your day. However, if you knew the truth behind the foods you buy and eat, you would no longer be content. Now imagine your favorite foods again, but loaded with chemicals that can cause numerous things, numbers of cancers, overconsumption, addictions, and more. This is the truth. By eating many of your favorite store-bought, often unlabeled products, you are, in a way, killing your own body, but making a profit for companies such as Monsanto. There are other underlying problems of genetically modified organisms, or GMOs. These include poor distribution of foods, large debts on farmers, a drive for profit instead of needs, lack of labeling, and of course, Monsanto's Roundup Ready produce. Yes, Roundup, the widely known chemical that kills weeds. Monsanto's Roundup Ready corn has been known to cause global controversies as it claims to be resistant to the herbicide. Some researchers from Forbes say that the Roundup chemicals are having no effect on our bodies because for years now, many Americans have been consuming genetically modified corn and other products without any change in diseases. Other companies have claimed that GMOs are essential scientific breakthroughs because they help to feed the world, protect the environment and its resources, and reduce poverty in developing countries. It is sometimes believed that genetic engineering is the only or best way to increase agricultural production and meet the needs of people. However, do not be fooled by what companies are leading you to believe. Just because it is stated that GMOs are important factors of feeding the world, mostly in America, does not mean that the less fortunate are actually getting a part of this produce that is mostly just creating a profit for companies. In many cases, it is shown that manufacturers of processed foods are more interested in their money than the needs of others, which contradicts their initial promises. The world today produces more food per inhabitant than ever before. Enough food is available to give 4.3 pounds to every person every day. But how many people are actually receiving this amount of food? Companies like Monsanto are giving us false hope and promises. Many studies and experiments have been done to test the results of genetically modified chemicals, especially the ones that make Monsanto's produce Roundup resistant. To conduct these experiments, scientists feed different foods to rats with strains of tumors. The first group takes genetically modified corn, the second takes Roundup itself in water, and the third, non-GM corn with fresh water. The results were obvious. The rats that ate the GM corn and Roundup had developed tumors much earlier than the control group. The implication in this experiment is if GMOs produce tumors in rats, why would we want to put the same chemicals into our bodies? In general, processed foods are just simply unhealthy and most people know it, but eat it anyway because it is a cheaper alternative. But it is also because the foods have been specially made to be as rewarding to your brain as possible. We have been naturally wired to love salty, sweet, and fatty foods, and processed foods are indeed all of those things. But with foods that are engineered to be hyper-rewarding, they can lead to overconsumption and addiction, which are two of the leading causes of obesity in America. Everything traces back to natural food sources being genetically modified instead of staying in their natural states to be consumed and used as they were created to be. Whether something is genetically modified or not is a hard thing to be able to notice. Foods that are not modified or processed are, in most cases, significantly smaller than those that are modified. Due to poor labeling, no one can really know for sure. Imagine yourself shopping for groceries for your family. If all the products on your list had labels on them that stated that they had been genetically modified, would you still buy it? Would you risk harming your family's health and well-being just for bigger sized and more colorful produce? Everyone has their own opinions on the matter. The idea of GMOs does not need to be eliminated entirely, but rather made more clear of what it is and isn't modified. Proper labeling would help fix this issue at hand. It would provide an obvious reason to deny the food, but would also give companies a reason to change their ways of modifying their produce and could result in a more popular outcome with a bigger profit. Foods could become healthier and more natural, which could also decrease the percentage of obesity and disease in America. Next time you go shopping for food, think about what you were actually buying, because it might all be a lie.